March 18, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. There's no economic data today that would really have moved the markets. Overall, this is what the chart looked like in the pre-market from Friday. It had this really large rally, opened, kind of chopped sideways. There is a small consolidation, sell-off, followed by another leg up. Maybe it was to test the highs of this big purple leg. And then it had this very, very gradual sell-off, a couple of spikes, and then another final sell-off into the close. And it was kind of total appreciable range of trading was about maybe 30 points from maybe down here to about here. But most of the price action, I would say, happened probably within this to here. But it was a little challenging because it was making lower lows and lower highs every time, but it didn't fit quite well into a clean channel. I took 3 trades today and I lost on 2. I think after reviewing, I was just looking at all the trade setups in the wrong way. So it's definitely humbling today because I think I wasn't in tune for sure, and I was just looking at the trades incorrectly, and I was just pretty much seeing the wrong thing, seeing opposite of what was happening. In itself, though, there weren't that many setups that I could find, so I'm just going to go through this rather quickly. So pre-market, no news, but it was just kind of oscillating. I did see this in the pre-market, so not seeing it in real time, but I noticed it. I saw this like a leg up. It's a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. There might have been a trade here, except what I didn't like, the second entry long is 2 legs down for sure. Made 1 attempt up. This could be the second attempt up. I don't like that this is an inside bar, but you could base it off the strength of this EMA. But again, that's not enough, in my opinion, to take a trade. You'd have to wait for a higher low. Get a higher low here, but it's too far from the EMA. I don't like that it's a doji. So if I saw this in real time, I don't know necessarily that I would have taken it. Then prices move up, it kind of breaks, and I drew this purple channel first because it kind of fit pretty well. I was initially thinking maybe it's going to be something like this, but I saw this and I thought today was going to be a rally day because it had some indications that it's going to just rally pretty strongly. The price is open. You don't get any good entries yet. It's only like really tight trading. It's pretty far from the EMA. Clearly we're in a bullish uptrend. I drew this green channel going up. It fits semi well, but not enough for me to feel confident on. So, definitely just sitting on my hands. Well, a new high, it's a first entry long. Technically, I have a second entry long here. Now, when I saw this in real time, I was debating whether there was a trade here because it is a pretty small candled risk. It is 2 points. It looks small, but it's still a 2-point risk. Well, 2-point candle, so it's like a 10-point tick risk. And when I saw this, I was thinking, was there a trade here? What I didn't like, though, is it kind of broke below the EMA and it closed completely below the EMA. Not only did all the price action, this entire candle sit below the EMA, it gives me a little bit of concern to go long, even though you do see a potentially 2 legs down. So I had to leave that one alone. Moves up. This is also a very, very narrow range. It's only 2 points, so I'm okay skipping a trade like this. Top sideways, it's clearly range bound now. Breaks out, I'm thinking failed breakout, and it falters and it continues going down. We do have a new high here, first entry long, second entry long, but here it's below the EMA. It's a decent signal bar, but it just, there's nothing else going for it because it's a failed breakout here, but it failed to move back in. So you're thinking, well, maybe it's a failed breakout pullback. Maybe you can go short if this turns out to be a failed second entry long. But I felt like it just doesn't look very clean because overall market context was it was very bullish previously. Now you could argue that this is potentially the top of the range and prices are going to come back down, but you don't have enough information yet to make that call, or at least I don't, to confidently make that call. So I had to definitely wait. Price then chop kind of falls into what I think is this green down channel. There's a bunch of dojis, nothing I particularly like. There was a new low here, first entry short, second entry short. Second entry short, this is the signal bar, it's an inside bar. There is kind of a rejection off this resistance, but it's still not good enough of a trade for me, in my opinion. I would need the EMA to kind of touch here, and I would need a stronger close. But then when you wait for this one to close, this candle here, you have a confirmed second entry short, but it's too much stem on each side. And if you did take a entry down here, you don't have much room before you hit the localized low. So too risky. Don't like anything there. Prices move up and moves up, stops, it tests the highs and it keeps going. So again, I'm thinking, okay, there's a one leg up, consolidation, a potential second leg up. So I actually drew one gigantic measured move here, and I'm looking for this to kind of move up on a potential second measured move, thinking it's going to be a rally day. You do have a new high, first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long, but it's not a very clean second entry long. It's a little ambiguous. Prices then chop up and upwards. Here, I was playing with various trading trend channels, and I ended up with trying this one, this yellow one, because it looked like it was kind of holding, then it broke through, and it kind of fit nicely at the top, but still not enough for me to trust it reliably. And this is actually where I get my first trade and where I got stuck, and kind of leads into the day of me pretty much seeing the opposite of everything that was happening. So definitely good that I stopped after my second loss. So I saw a new low here. I saw first entry short pullback, second entry short. When the second entry short happened, I'm thinking, okay, it's potentially maybe moving back into this yellow channel, which I just previously said I don't have 100% trust in it. It does touch once, twice. Debatable whether it's a third touch, but it looked like it clearly broke through. However, in real time, I thought, well, this is a very, very nice signal bar for a failure. There's a first entry short, second entry short. It looks like it's about to fail. I didn't draw this trading range yet, so I just saw this candle. I thought, okay, well, obviously it's going to move back into this yellow up channel, test the highs here. Broke out of this green channel, made one attempt down. This could be a second push up and then come back down. I failed to think that maybe it's actually one push down, second push down. Actually, after the break, it's one push down to get ready for a second push down. I was blinded to that, and I just thought, obviously, for no reason, but I thought, well, obviously it's moving back up. So I enter one tick above, ticks, two ticks above the previous close, and flashes down and takes me out. My stop was one tick below here. So that's the first trade of the day and the first loss. After I saw this, I realized there's a potential triple test. There's probably a failed second entry long here or triple test. So definitely I was on the wrong side of this trade. What I should have done in hindsight was this is not a confirmed failure of the second entry short, first entry short, second entry short. It hasn't technically failed yet. So I should have waited for this candle to play out. But when I saw it open, flash up, I thought immediately, well, obvious a failure, jumped in, flashed down, took me out. In this case, it's okay to get in early if the trend and the context is very clear, but this really wasn't clear yet. I should have kept in mind that there's a potential triple test coming up here, and I shouldn't neglect the fact that this is one leg down, or actually one leg down, break out of this green. So it's actually one attempt down. This could be a second attempt down coming up, but it was a little unclear whether it's should go long or short, and I definitely should have left it alone. So this is a punishment that I took. Then I thought, okay, this is a resistance up here, potentially a support down here. This could be a failed breakout. Pushes all the way back up, no trade. I saw a new low here, first entry short, pull back, and I saw this as a second entry short and a potential triple test. So now I'm thinking, okay, I might be in a range. Prices have moved up, pulled back a little bit, pushed up, it's consolidating, and I'm thinking, could this here be kind of a little bit of a repeat here? So I saw the triple test, I got my order ready. This isn't a very good signal bar. This is an even worse signal bar, but it didn't make it all the way back down. And I thought, well, maybe there's a good trade here. I entered one tick above, so at least to my credit, when it opened here and it was flashing around, I didn't take it on the engulfing. I ensured that it did push up. I entered late, hoping it picked me up. It did pick me up, and then it flashed up. So the second trade was a winner, but it's based upon the bounce off of this bottom as a potential triple test, thinking there's some kind of repeat setup here. It's a big push up, consolidation, slight sell off, push up. So it's push up, kind of a slight consolidation. I was thinking it's going to be another push up, but keep in mind there could have been a sell off here. So this really wasn't a good setup, but I had one win and one against my one loss now, but not a very good trade. I was debating having a runner, but I actually just moved my runner from 1 tick above break even all the way just up to the same spot. That's how come you see two pink triangles here, because I wasn't after, debating when it was kind of oscillating, I was thinking, I don't know if it has enough power to actually break through this potential triple test. And it didn't. So I'm glad I just kind of pretty much essentially the entire trade was taken off at one point. Prices then moved down, it kind of oscillates. I saw a new high here, kind of localized new high. First entry long, second entry long. There's no good setup here. Flashes down and it breaks out of this blue range. Kind of keeps moving. Nothing I particularly like. And here I saw this as a new low. First entry short here. Second entry short. Pushes up. I saw, so this is how I got in my head. I saw this open, moves one tick down, and it doesn't come back, and it closes here. So I immediately think, well, obviously, for no good reason. I didn't think no good reason at the time, but I now know it's no real good reason. First entry short, second entry short. Obviously, it's going to be a failed second entry short. It's closing above the EMA. I didn't really have this green trend resistance coming down just yet. So I was thinking, okay, could push up. So I entered one tick above, which is poor, bad idea. Confirms the second short. I should have waited a little bit longer for things to play out because if you look, clearly prices are kind of coming back down a little bit, drifting down. But remember what I said previously. I thought it was one push up consolidation, slight sell off, then a rally. So it's the same thing. This push up is kind of like this purple up channel. I saw this one push up, consolidation, consolidation, slight sell off, getting ready for a big push up. And so that's how I convinced myself that this is about to push itself up. But just because it looked like it's repeating doesn't necessarily mean I should have neglected waiting for the price action to clear itself up. Because I'm looking for a failed second entry short below the EMA, which isn't the right place to be looking for failure on a second entry short. But I took it anyways. And of course, it punishes me, flashes down. So I'm here looking at this now and I'm thinking, okay, I just lost one, won one, lost another. I have two losses now. Per my rules, I definitely have to stop now. So I did. And I had to keep in mind that the FOMC meeting, this is just something separate. The FOMC meeting and rate decision is coming this week. And I have noticed in the past that since it always shows up on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Wednesday is when Fed Chair Powell as well as the official rate decision comes out, that Monday prior is always usually very slow, very choppy price action. So keeping that in mind, I've decided I'm not taking any more trades because I'm just probably going to get frustrated. And so that was just kind of my decision. It was good because it's also two losses, so I had to kind of obey those rules. I just kind of sat and watched. So it's a new low. So first entry short, second entry short. There's no good signal bar to go short here. After this close, you could consider going short. If you had this down channel, you can see this as a potential failed breakout, maybe another push down. But this candle is also rather large. This is a 3.25 point candle. Definitely too large for my taste. I'd only take something like this and risk that much if it was a clear trend. But this has been kind of doing some slow grinding, so I didn't feel confident in it. Prices then continue moving down. It looks like it's breaking out of this yellow down channel. You know, first entry short. I saw this as a potential second entry short. So it's a new low here. The first entry short, push up, push back down. This is actually an, I think, somewhat okay setup because it formed the second entry short. It's also creating a lower high. So, and it closed very nicely. So there's potentially enough momentum here for 1 point scalp. Looks like it would have just barely worked, and then here would have confirmed and confirmed the trade. Prices then continue moving down, kind of pushes down. I'm thinking prices might be falling into. I didn't quite trust this big red down channel yet, but I did have it drawn. It's starting to push down. It gets really choppy in here. Falls into what I think is a trading range. You have potentially 1, 2, 3 triple tests, but this wasn't a very convincing bar to go short on for a potential triple test. Plus, when this one closed, it didn't close bearish enough, so I had to leave it alone. Well, I say I had to leave it alone. To be honest, I wasn't even thinking about taking a trade anymore. But if I was to take a trade, I was still in trading mode. I would have left that one alone anyways. Prices then move up, creates kind of a resistance here. It also hits the top of this red channel. So now I'm starting to trust this red down channel a little more. It fits somewhat nicely at the bottom. They had it a little bit tighter, I think, up here. So it hits the top, and I'm thinking it's going to come back down and test the bottoms. You have first entry long, Second entry long, it's not a good signal bar to go long. After the trigger bar close, it feels risky because it's actually one push down and made one attempt down. It didn't break to the lows. So I'm thinking it could potentially make another push down to the lows. So if you're thinking going long here after this big close, it feels risky and dicey because I'm expecting prices to come back, test the lows of this green down channel, also touch the highs of this red. So I think I think price would want to more likely come back down here. It chops around and it kind of makes the second attempt down. It looks like the downtrend might have been done, and now it's pushing back up, but not good clear indications. Too many dojis too close together. Flashes up, starts breaking out of this red channel. I did see this. I didn't mark it though. I saw this as a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Now this second entry long is confirmed. It's just about breaking out of this red down channel now, but you're basing it on the strength. You're playing it against the strength of this yellow up channel. What I do like about this setup, but I don't think it's a good trade necessarily, is even though it's a second entry long, it's a bad signal bar. It did tick one tick below and then it pushed incredibly hard, engulfed the entire candle here and closed at the high. Now, what I also don't like about this though, even though it's a nice strong momentum, it's very encouraging, bounces off the EMA, bounces off this down bottom of this yellow channel. What I don't like is you don't have that much room before you hit the first potential resistance here. But it kept going, flashes up, and definitely, it would have been an aggressive trade. I don't think it's a good trade though, because this isn't a good signal bar. It's two side by side. It would have worked though. Price then push up, makes a new high, sells off. You have a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here. It's engulfing, but this isn't a very good signal bar, and even the trigger bar isn't very encouraging either. And it chops up. It's just too congested here. Pushes up again. It's just not really nice price action. It's getting a little, well, slow and not very apparent. Kind of flashes down, and it's getting too close to the end of the day. This is the last 10 minutes now. And as you can see, the last 10 minutes, it just kind of sells off, but there's no trade, even if it's second entry that I would really want to take just because it's too close before the close, and it goes into the close. So today was, well, by the mere fact of me losing two trades and winning one, and even the one trade that I took wasn't very good, I don't think it was the easiest day, but I also know that my read of the charts today was pretty terrible. I was pretty much on the wrong side of everything. So overall it was, and price action is very slow. So overall, I would consider for myself, it was probably, if I were a better trader, a no trade day. But being where I am now, still learning and in the process, I thought it was a little more challenging, a little more tricky today. So definitely I had to keep more of these in mind because there are going to be many more FOMC meetings. And I just need to approach things knowing that the Mondays of those meetings can be very slow, very grinding. I also know from my own notes that the Tuesday or the day before the actual release of the numbers can also be very, very slow and grinding. So tomorrow we could have a repeat of very, very, I guess, tight, slow price action trading. So I need to keep that in mind and not get too ambitious. And in days like that, I have to be extra careful and wait for a very good bulletproof setup and not jump in early, which is what I did today. So hopefully that was helpful.